Well, good afternoon, everyone. On this beautiful sunny day in St. Paul, we're happy to be here. And we're happy to be here particularly because we're announcing an initiative that will be a 3-year initiative to reduce youth crime and provide positive opportunities for our children across the city of St. Paul. This will be a citywide initiative. It will be a collaboration between my office directly, our police department, the YWCA, which will be the lead community partner, and other community-based organizations. Last summer, our 3 offices launched a pilot program in downtown St. Paul to test out the idea that we could do things differently to prevent youth from getting in trouble and potentially committing crimes. We put a dozen skilled youth workers on streets to talk with youth in places and at times of day that youth are likely to be congregating. The youth workers talked with the youth, tried to understand what would help keep them from getting into trouble, from violating curfew or fighting on the streets or committing crime. Then they directed those youth who were interested to services at local agencies. With this pilot, we saw a reduction in crimes by youth in downtown St. Paul. Unfortunately, in other neighborhoods, we still experience youth crime, kids engaging in fights, and other wilding incidents. We knew that this summer things had to be different across the city of St. Paul. I'm pleased to announce that this summer, in 2014, and for the next 2 summers at least, we'll be greatly expanding our efforts to redirect youth away from crime and into positive, productive activities. We're creating a broad-based public community partnership with organizations, public institutions, and individuals bringing their experience, commitment, and services to bear to this issue. Last night, we launched an initiative with an expanded team of youth workers called the Community Ambassadors. Nearly 30 of them will be working on selected evening and weekend times in areas where youth are congregating or where police have identified potential for problems. Once again, the YWCA of St. Paul will take the lead in coordinating the community ambassadors and working with our police department. Neighborhood House, St. Paul Youth Services, and 180 Degrees, as well as Robin Hickman from Soul Touch Productions, have joined the collaborative effort to bring their expertise in working with youth to this initiative. As a 3-year initiative, it will allow the city and its partners to test a coordinated approach to redirecting youth away from crime and potential arrest and incarceration. The community ambassadors will talk with hundreds of youth, and we expect to serve at least 200 of them with services through our partner programs. We're also bringing our resources to this initiative designed to give youth positive alternatives. Those youth who are interested will be referred to one of our 4 service partner organizations to receive counseling, career readiness training, academic supports, job referrals, and more. On the city side, we've made an investment by expanding hours at 7 recreation centers in the North End, Payne-Fale, and Thomas Dale and Dayton's Bluff neighborhoods. The new Arlington Hills Community Center, which we opened just recently, opened specifically with extra hours and is designed with the needs of youth in mind, with a teen center and a media lab. What the city is doing goes beyond just opening doors longer. For a few years now, we've been making changes in the way we hire and train our staffs in parks and in libraries, ensuring that they have the youth development skills and cultural competence to work with youth and support the needs of our very diverse youth. It's no longer enough that our staff has just recreation or library skills. They need to be able to engage youth effectively and help them set a direction for what programs they want. We've also partnered with Robin Hickman, as I mentioned, with Soul Touch Productions, who brings an essential element to this initiative, the opportunity to hear from youth directly. Robin's already in the process of talking to 150 youth in our city in high schools about their visions and the barriers to them achieving those goals. This summer, she'll work with some of them on media projects and help them more publicly express their opinions, visions, and views. This is a crucial part of our initiative because so often we adults forget to listen to the perspectives of youth and what they want with their lives. I'm also pleased to let you know that we've added some employment opportunities for youth that we'll be working with. We'll be able to offer 45 to 60 youth summer employment and hope to grow that number as we continue to raise funds. The initiative is expected to cost about $800,000 per year when fully funded. The City of St. Paul has invested $225,000 annually to support these expanded hours in the city's recreation centers. The police department is contributing $100,000 per year from a state grant to support a data system and services. Still, we could not have launched a citywide effort without the support of local philanthropy. I'm grateful to Youth Prize, which has taken a leading role in supporting the St. Paul Youth Intervention Initiative. I also want to thank the St. Paul Foundation, the Bigelow Foundation, the United Way of Greater Twin Cities, the Otto Bremer Foundation and Travelers Foundation, which together have provided the balance of the private funds we need. I can't stress enough how important this initiative is to reach youth and give them a chance to have positive alternatives to engaging in youth violence, crime, or other activities, unwanted activities in our city. We've seen spikes in youth violence on occasion. This effort, I think, will be a very substantial and important effort to try to reduce that. Obviously, we can't do this alone. We need our community partners. And obviously, the police department is our key community partner. But from the very beginning, we said this cannot be a police-only initiative. It had to be about giving alternatives. So when an officer comes along, it isn't just a heavy hand, it's an opportunity for that child to understand there are alternatives. If they want to press it, the police are more than happy to accommodate them and lock them up for a while. But I think our youth deserve better. Our youth deserve a chance. Our youth deserve opportunities. They deserve great programs and great partnership with all of our community agencies. I think that this is a comprehensive approach. It's a smart way to do business. It's a different way to do business. And it really reaches out to our youth to say, if you want to take the right step in a positive direction, we'll give you that opportunity. Now take it. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our important partner, the Chief of Police.
You know, it gives me great pride to be here in all of our department, to be part of a partnership that truly is about community. It really is. I can tell you there are many friends in this room here today that we've been discussing about what can we do different in the city of St. Paul to affect positively our youth in the inner city. And we've been talking about this for a couple years. In fact, this conversation started with the former deputy mayor out of the mayor's office, Billy Collins, myself, and a handful of other individuals. And we said, you know what, we can do things differently. As the mayor said, you know, our job as police officers is to respond to violent crime. And we make no apologies for that. We need to keep our city safe. But we have so many young people that have choices that they can make, and we can help them make those choices. And we can help them defer from a life of crime by just showing that we care. And I will tell you, as the Chief of Police for the City of St. Paul and my officers, we do care. We do a lot more social work and intervention and prevention work than the public ever hears about. We do it every single day with young people. What we're doing here today is talking about how we've put this partnership together with some of the finest individuals that are in this room from our nonprofit agencies in the City of St. Paul, where we all agreed on one thing. We can make a difference with our youth in the City of St. Paul. We can make a difference with some at-risk youth that may be going down the wrong path or thinking about going down the wrong path. We can put community ambassadors on the street. And by the way, they started last night. They'll be out by Arlington Hills Community Center tonight, for those of you that want to know. It's led by Damon Drake. I'm very proud of Damon. He's our lead ambassador, where we take individuals that are already working with youth in the City of St. Paul, and they're the buffer between the police and our youth. They go out and they stop bad things from happening before they do, with a twist. Now we've put together holistically all of these partners so young people have a place to go. Maybe they need to learn how to write a resume for a job, and that's part of what this initiative talks about. Maybe they need some social service providers to help them with their families. That's part of that, this initiative. Maybe it's just about some proactive social activities that they can become involved with. That's all part of this activity. So I, again, am very proud to stand here to say that I believe that this is going to be a national model. We just can't take our foot off the gas pedal. We need to continue to do this. We need to challenge ourselves. Make sure that we work with our at-risk youth and youth that are making decisions every single day out in the street. And we're going to help to do that through the community ambassadors, also the nonprofit agencies, Neighborhood House, and 180 Degrees, and St. Paul Youth Services, and led by a good friend of mine, who I'm going to introduce now, and someone who has an extraordinary vision and has for a long time. He understands the importance of working with our youth in the City of St. Paul, and that's the Executive Director of the St. Paul YWCA, Billy Collins.
Well, I guess there's advantages and disadvantages of speaking last, and one of the disadvantages is that they've talked about everything I was going to talk about. But basically, our responsibility is to sort of help keep things pulled together. And I want to thank the Chief for some nice words this afternoon. But I also want to talk about that I'm really proud to be a part of this initiative, and this is something that's really different, and it's not about creating something new. It's about pulling together some things that have been existing for a long time and getting people to work together. So it's a great partnership. Our team of community ambassadors, and I'm going to try to tie all this together and sort of give a flow to it. The ambassadors are trusted, culturally specific youth workers, most of whom work full-time jobs and are doing this not just for additional money, but because they feel a part of the community and they're connected with the young people and the families who are out there. So they know a lot of them, they recognize a lot of them, and that gives them a real advantage of being able to work together. Each of the service providers will offer targeted high-quality services. Case managers in the 4 community-based programs will guide youth to needed services and jobs across their programs. 180 Degrees Neighborhood House, Saint Paul Youth Services, and the YWCA Saint Paul will provide services that will include, and this is an example of some of the things they'll do: relationship building, life skills, goal setting, academic support, work readiness, future planning for post-secondary education preparation, pro-social behavior, anger control, gang reduction and intervention programming, service focus on supporting survival-based youth, which is really key, working with youth who are truant, runaways, and have experienced trauma, and implementing activities to reduce the likelihood of criminal activities. Also with that is that we're looking at dedicated jobs for youth. And the jobs include work readiness training and coaching that will align with the city's overall Right Track career program and mirror that and prepare young people to ultimately move into that more mainstream programming. Expanded services and rec center access. This is one of the things when we did the ambassadors piece last year, and the ambassadors were interviewing some of the young people in the community. They were talking about no jobs being an issue. They were talking about lack of services and reduced hours in rec centers, nonprofits who were losing money and cutting back on services and what have you. So the expanded hours at the rec centers, and also, as the mayor mentioned, training rec staff in terms of how to be youth workers is very important as we move forward with things. The youth voice and empowering young people. Besides engaging youth in program selection and development, Robin Hickman will engage young people, particularly in the Payne-Phelan area and nearby neighborhoods, in positive ways to use their voices to communicate to the community at large. Very important. And then, as the mayor also mentioned, we have a database developed so we can collect this information and see what's going on in our community and also be able to report back on it. So that gives you a sample of how the flow will go with the efforts that we're doing out here. And at that, I'd like to turn it back over to the mayor.
A long summer ahead, which you never say, summer's never too long, but let's have a successful summer engaging youth. Thank you.